Hello, Flight Sim fans, and welcome to the Practically Geek channel. In today's video, I've jumped on the Piccadilly line at Leicester Square and I've travelled west out of London to visit Heathrow Airport. This one will be a bit different than usual. I won't be exploring just one scenery in this video, but comparing two versions of the same airport, putting them head to head to see which one is better. If you do enjoy this video, give it a massive like and please consider subscribing to the Practically Geek channel for more flight simulator and aviation content just like this. With the release of iniBuilds Heathrow Airport version 2, I decided to jump on their website and give it a purchase. I thought this would be a great time to compare the handcrafted Asobo Heathrow to the iniBuilds add-on. Please keep in mind throughout this video, if you don't own the premium deluxe version of Microsoft Flight Simulator, then your default Heathrow Airport scenery won't look like this. I may do a video in the future showing the differences between the standard default Heathrow and the iniBuilds add-on, but for now I wanted to show you how the two handcrafted versions compared to each other and help you decide whether it's worth purchasing an alternative scenery for this airport. London Heathrow Echo Golf Lima Lima is a major international airport located 40 miles west of central London. It's the main hub for British Airways and the primary operating base for Virgin Atlantic, with scheduled flights from such airlines as Air Canada, American Airlines, Delta, Japan Airlines, Polish Airlines, Qantas, Qatar, Thai Airways and United Airlines, to name just a few. In 2021, it was the 7th busiest airport in the world by international passenger traffic and the 8th busiest in Europe by total passenger traffic. So with all that being said, grab yourself a cup of coffee or tea, sit back and enjoy this direct comparison of the Asobo handcrafted Heathrow Airport and the newly released iniBuilds Heathrow Airport version 2. So let's talk performance first. Because of the level of detail in the iniBuilds scenery, I'd have to give Asobo the win here. I found in my experience that even though the Asobo Heathrow wasn't buttery smooth, it still gave better overall frame rates with less stutters. This is very noticeable in the split screen comparisons. Unfortunately, the iniBuilds scenery was just a bit more jittery overall. Things improved when I dropped my settings to high end, but for the sake of this video my graphics were set to what I always use, which is basically ultra with buildings, trees, and some shadow and reflection options turned down one step. Visually, on the other hand, the iniBuilds version of Heathrow gets the win here. It's far superior when it comes to features and details. The ground markings, building models, interiors, and the inclusion of Concorde at the start of runway 27 left make the add-on feel more complete, especially as iniBuilds have included some important perimeter buildings like the Premier Inn, the Hilton Heathrow, and the Compass Centre, to name a few. One thing that was missing from the Asobo scenery was branding. We didn't get any logos in or around the airport. iniBuilds have done fantastically to include the authentic branding for British Airways, Emirates, Turkish Airlines, and the HSBC logos on the jetways. But I'm torn over three things. Firstly is the control tower. In both sceneries, the tower's appearance matched the one at the airport. It's just the glasswork on the Asobo version looks too green. I've looked at a few pictures online, and while it does indeed have a green tint in the glass, I much prefer the darker textures used in the iniBuilds model. Secondly, I think the Asobo ground textures for the aprons are just that bit more realistic in terms of colour. The iniBuilds aprons are still great, the ground markings are exceptional, but looking at pictures and Google Maps, I would personally say Asobo got the colouring right, but that's probably just a minor gripe from me. Lastly, and something you may have seen in the comparison, the buildings seem to be inconsistent between the two sceneries. I love some of the iniBuilds models with the little details like company logos and the interiors, but sometimes I think Asobo have done better. In the end though, I think it was a case of them both having their pros and cons, but what do you think? With version 2 of the iniBuilds add-on, you get a partially modelled interior for Terminal 2 and a detailed one for Terminal 5A. Terminal 5B and C also have some interior modelling. The detail isn't as good as Terminal 5A for example, but the textures are still pretty great as you can see on the windows and the floors. Terminal 2 also looks great inside. The textures used on the floor are amazing, and the silver Spitfire here is a great little detail. It would have been nice to see some people scattered around the terminals for a bit more added immersion, but overall, it's a very good job by iniBuilds. All of the interiors are very well modelled and textured. In fact, I particularly like the glass looking out of Terminal 5 with these brilliant looking escalators running down to the floor below. What I will mention is that at the start of the video and what you are seeing now is the iniBuilds scenery. The aircraft on the stands are part of Latin VFR's static aircraft package, which I may talk about in a separate video. The comparison you saw between the two sceneries contained weather presets from SoFly and Floyds Epic Clouds, which is a new freeware package that I'll link in the description below, but no other add-ons were used. In terms of pricing, I can't comment on the Asobo scenery as it's only available through the premium deluxe version of the sim and can't be purchased separately. The current price at the time of recording for the iniBuilds Heathrow is £15.29 on sale through their website. The normal price is about £17.99, but if you buy it from the in-sim marketplace, it comes in at £14.99. Now here is the drawback. If you decide on the ever so slightly cheaper and easier option of buying it through the in-sim marketplace, you will discover the older version of the iniBuilds Airport has been installed and will probably wait about 2 to 3 weeks for the updated version 2 to become available. If this video has helped you decide the iniBuilds add-on is for you, then I fully recommend spending around £3 extra and buying it from the official website, which will give you version 2 of the airport, plus any further updates they bring to the scenery as soon as they release them, instead of waiting weeks for Microsoft to approve and upload the update to the in-sim marketplace. Truthfully, I really don't know with this one. There are parts of the Asobo scenery that look better than the add-on, but then there are parts of the iniBuilds Heathrow that just blow it out the water and deliver that premium experience you'd expect from a payware. The question is, after watching this video, which one do you prefer? Let me know down in the comments if you bought the iniBuilds Heathrow Airport and what you think of it. Was it worth the upgrade from the handcrafted Asobo version? If you have enjoyed this video, give it a massive like and please consider subscribing to the Practically Geek channel for more flight simulator and aviation content just like this. Thank you so much for watching and I will see you again very soon.